Hello, Kurt Jackson with KJ Financial here with the seventh episode of our first module, the inefficiencies in traditional financial planning for our Retirement Accelerator Blueprint. And number 7 is understanding the myths of tax deferral. Got to give you a little disclosure here. We're not tax planners at KJ Financial. We do help provide many of the questions that you should ask your tax planner, not your tax preparer. Those are two totally different things. But we're there to help you provide the questions to ask them about taxes. So let's dive right into understanding the myths of tax deferral. So we found another big myth, or lie, if you will, creating expensive inefficiencies that continues to rob us of our wealth. So tax deferral in your 401k or IRA type retirement. So if you deferred $100 in taxes, okay, trying to make this a simple, just kind of simplify this. So if you deferred $100 in taxes, when you got to retirement, would you want your tax bill to be more than or less than $100? Do you think that's how it's going to work on your 401k and your IRA money when you get to retirement? Wouldn't we want less? Otherwise, why do it? Why would we want more taxes? So what does the 401k IRA advertise to be? You'll put in before tax dollars so you have more money working for you. That is true. Your employer will also be able to contribute to your 401k. That is true, although they don't always do that. That money will grow tax deferred in the market at an 8 to 10% average return. Partially true. I guess it's all true if you're going to consider they said average return. It does grow tax deferred. Your average return is not your actual return, which we've been through several times. Hopefully you've grasped that. So don't worry, when you retire, you'll be in a lower tax bracket. This might be where they get you. Does that sound familiar? So has anybody actually run the math for you on this problem? You notice a common theme here, we run the math on things, because when you run the math on things, you actually expose potential issues. So hypothetically, let's say you put away $500 a month, $400 from you and $100 from your employer manager. For 35 years, you earned the 10% that they advertise the market will deliver. Wouldn't you expect your money to grow to $1,898,319? Don't believe me? Run that on an online calculator. So you put away $180,000 over that 35 years, multiply 35 years times 12 times 500. Assuming you're in the 30% marginal tax bracket, we'll assume federal and state, you deferred a total of $54,000 in taxes. So wouldn't you want your tax bill in retirement, total taxable in retirement, to be less than $54,000? So what would your actual tax rate, your effective tax rate, need to be to not have to pay back more than $54,000 in taxes on your $1,898,318? Wouldn't it need to be less than 2.8%? And that is if there was no more growth on your money when you were taking income in retirement. Is that realistic? So, this is just a simplified example. So it's going to have to be even lower than 2.8. So hypothetical tax situation in retirement for you, okay? Using 2023's tax rates, assuming married filing jointly, both 65 or older, okay? And they're getting $40,000 in Social Security, assume $20,000 each. The max income per year you could take and stay in that 2.8% effective tax rate is $33,200. So that's a $73,200 total income with Social Security. People could live off of that. Okay, I don't know if that's ideal, but they could, right? But here's the problem. You've got $1,898,319. At age 72, this is changing, but right now at age 72, if you're already taking RMDs, you got to, unless you turn 72, they just changed this at the end of 2022, the beginning of January 1 of 2023, but we're going to use this as their example. So at age 72, your required minimum distribution would need to be $69,282. Plus your $40,000 in Social Security, that's $109,282 in total income. So your federal income tax bill alone is $8,270. That doesn't include state, even though when we said that 30% marginal tax rate would have included an estimated state, right? It would take only 6.53 years to have paid back more than $54,000. We're only addressing federal taxes. Keep in mind, The percent of the mandatory RMDs, required minimum distributions, increases as you age, as does your Social Security. So your tax bill would go up, okay, more than likely. So is this efficient? Does that sound like the 401k IRA type retirement plan is a tax efficient plan? Man, it's funny how that must have been a Freudian slip there. I put lie instead of like. So do you think future tax rates will be higher, lower, or the same? Now wait, before you answer that question, keep in mind our federal debt is more than 31 trillion with a T and growing. Our unfunded promises for Social Security, Medicare, federal pensions, and so forth is north of 138 trillion with a T. That's on top of the 31. So don't future tax rates need to be a lot higher to even have a chance to even look like we may fund those things? Doesn't the 401k IRA type retirement sound more like a tax nightmare of a plan? So who do you want to be in control of your taxes in retirement? Uncle Sam and the IRS, or you? While we're not tax planners, as you're beginning to see, our Retirement Accelerator Blueprint does provide the rationale behind the questions you'll be asking your tax pro. The Retirement Accelerator Blueprint focuses on minimizing your lifetime income tax bill, not just your annual income tax bill. That's important, but what we found is for almost everyone, when you focus on the lowest annual income tax bill, that does not equate to the lowest lifetime income tax bill. So deferring taxes in a 401k IRA type retirement plan is a prime example of that. So make sure to pay close attention to our taxation risk and regulatory risk episodes in our 10 biggest retirement risk module of the Retirement Accelerator Blueprint. We'll take a much deeper dive into what this is, why this is a huge deal for people who make good money and or have successfully saved for retirement or plan to successfully save for retirement, especially when they're saving in 401k, IRAs, pensions, those type of retirement plans. Okay, so that wraps up this episode, which brings us to the next episode, optimization of your Social Security benefits, and it's the last episode of Module 1. So click the video below to view our next episode.